Project-Based versus Problem-Based Learning. Jesse Jones, March 4th, 2016. In preparing a project-based or problem-based lesson, many of the elements can be the same, such as the topic, standards, objectives, and the task or problem. I teach 6th grade science, and the topic I have chosen is energy resource alternatives and conservation, and it follows a next generation science standards in order for students to construct an argument supported by evidence for how increases in human population and per capita consumption of natural resources impact Earth's systems. Through this lesson, students will be able to construct an argument supported by empirical evidence and scientific reasoning to support or refute a problem to a solution. Compare and contrast the impact of renewable and non-renewable energy resources on Earth's systems, and identify renewable energy resources for use in their community. The focus of the objectives for either lesson need to be on providing students with an authentic, real-world task incorporating 21st century learning skills. Gasser states, using real-life, multifaceted problems, allowing students to solve them, encouraging students to learn from failure, having fun, and providing collaboration time are interconnected strategies that can raise student expectations and better prepare them for the 21st century. For the most part, the problem or task can be the same for both PBLs. However, the focus of a project-based lesson is on the end result or product, and the focus of a problem-based lesson is on finding the appropriate information to solve the given problem. The problem for my students is your mayor urges the council to look at energy alternatives. She wants your community to thrive even as oil becomes increasingly expensive and scarce. She says the effort begins with changing the energy strategy to alternative sources and to changing how we use the energy we have. The mayor then turns to the class and asks for guidance. The teacher says the class will look into alternative energies and get back to the council. So the class is then given the task to determine an appropriate alternative energy source to present to the council for use in the community. Whether you are planning a problem-based or project-based lesson, the same task, objectives, and standards can be assessed. As with most instruction today, a main focus for educators must be on building and applying 21st century learning skills. Both PBLs encourage the use of these skills. Bell states, our students develop 21st century skills through PBL that will aid them in becoming productive members of a global society. Both PBLs are learner-centered, where the teacher acts as a facilitator, involve cooperative groups, and include real-world and authentic tasks. Motivation is sustained through meaningful real-world problems and projects, states Bell. Much of the setup of both PBLs includes similar information. However, the differences can be seen in the day-to-day tasks and directions students follow. Project-based learning is normally a multidisciplinary project. For example, the end product for this task will require students to master English language arts skills along with increasing their knowledge of global awareness. The time necessary for students to complete a project-based task can range from a few days or weeks to a month or more. For this task, students will need at least a week to compile the necessary information, determine their choice of alternative energy source, and then create a product to present their findings to the town council. Since the focus of project-based learning is on the end product, the steps students are given are general because their end product choice may be different from the next group's. Problem-based learning is normally a single subject lesson. With the given task, students will focus on locating content to help them choose the appropriate alternative energy source for their community. Students may be required to use skills from other subjects. However, the focus is on understanding the science content to determine a solution to the problem. With project-based learning, the students would have also been assessed on their ability to communicate their findings through their end product. The time necessary for students to complete a problem-based task can range from a few days to a week or more. For this task, students will need approximately a week to compile the necessary information and determine their choice of alternative energy source. Since a final production is not necessary, Students will not need to be given time to compile a presentation of their findings. Since the focus of problem-based learning is on solving the problem, the steps students are given are specific. Larmor shows the recommended steps for problem-based learning. 1. Presentation of an ill-structured problem. 2. Problem definition or formulation. 3. Generation of a knowledge inventory, a list of what we know about the problem and what we need to know. 4. Generation of possible solutions. 5. Formulation of learning issues for self-directed and coached learning. And 6. Sharing of findings and solutions. Since this is problem-based learning, the end result, step 6, does not need to be a formal presentation. The similarities and differences between problem-based and project-based learning can be summarized in this graphic by Larmor. Campbell states, in conclusion, it is probably the importance of conducting active learning with students that is worthy and not the actual name of the task. Both problem-based and project-based learning have their place in today's classroom and can promote 21st century learning. Both PBLs allow teachers to incorporate active learning tasks into their instruction to increase student engagement and motivation, and therefore increase student learning and achievement.